Hello and welcome back. As always, my name is Laser, and today we're gonna talk a little bit about the brand new Heroes of the Storm support Lucio from Overwatch coming to the Heroes of the Storm PTR 6th of February, and probably is gonna be launched 1 week later. We know abilities, we know talents, we don't know mana costs and cooldowns. This information may not be final, take it with a grain of salt, etc, etc. So let's get into talents. First and foremost, his trait, which is probably the most interesting part to Lucio, it's called Wall Ride. When moving alongside impassable terrain, Lucio can walk through other units and his movement speed is increased by 20%. This effect stacks with other movement speed bonuses. So again, impassable terrain. Stuff like a gate is not gonna work because, well, you can pass through it. Keep in mind that you do get the 20% movement speed, but you are locked out a little bit. Your movement options are somewhat limited. His Q ability is called Soundwave. Deal damage to enemies in a cone-shaped area and knock them back, pretty much like in Overwatch. His W ability, again something very interesting here, Crossfade. Play one of two tracks that passively provide allied heroes with either a speed boost or a healing boost in a large radius around you. Activate Crossfade to swap between tracks. You got two tracks. First one will provide a healing boost, restores a small amount of health to every second to Lucio and nearby allied heroes. And the second one would be a speed boost. Increases the movement speed of Lucio and nearby allied heroes by 15%. So again, you will see that they pretty much transplanted Lucio from Overwatch into Heroes of the Storm like they did with Zarya and Tracer. Final basic ability is called Amp It Up. E. Raise Lucio's crossface tracks volume for 3 seconds, amping speed boost to 45% from, what was it again, from 15%. And significantly increasing the healing rate of healing boost. By how much, what exactly are the amounts of healing we're talking about, we don't know at this point, and we don't know cooldowns as well, sadly. Let's take a look at heroic abilities. First one, Sound Barrier, pretty predictable, yeah? After 1 second, Lucio and nearby allied heroes gain a massive shield that rapidly decays over the next 6 seconds. So again, like in Overwatch, you get a huge shield, okay, which decays rapidly, so you might wanna get the stuff done while you actually have a shield. It's good for initiations, I'm guessing. It can be used as a retreat as well. Again, it says a massive shield that decays over 6 seconds. We're gonna have to wait and see how exactly this one plays out. Second heroic ability is called Reverse Amp. Now this one is actually interesting because we haven't seen it in Overwatch. Blast Lucio's crossfade track at enemy heroes for 4 seconds, causing healing boost to inflict damage every second and speed boost to slow movement speed by 45%. Also passively increases Amp It Up duration to 4 seconds, from 3 to 4. So this one is indeed very interesting. I'm curious to know if I can actually swap between tracks while the duration of reverse amp is still up. So during those 4 seconds, can I switch between the slow and the damage? That would be interesting to see. And that's about it for the basic abilities and the heroics. Talents level 1. We move together. Talent for our W ability, Crossfade. Increases the passive movement speed bonus of speed boost to 20% from 15%, so only a 5% increase here. A tad underwhelming maybe, but then again, it is a level 1 talent. Maximum tempo talent for our E ability, Amp It Up. This is a quest talent. Kill 5 enemy heroes while speed boost is active. The reward will be the increased amped speed boost to 60%. So killing 5 enemy heroes, I'm not sure if assists will count, or do you actually have to get the killing blow, but obviously the boost there is definitely increased by a significant margin. Next talent at level 1, Accelerando. This is a talent for your trait. Increases the movement speed bonus of Wall Ride from 20% to 40% over 4 seconds, and maintain that speed as long as you maintain the wall riding movement speed bonus. So the way this will work, you will start off at 20% when you wall ride, and every second you will get another 5% till you hit maximum 40. If you break, however, your wall ride, then you're gonna be resetted to 20 when you wall ride again. So ideally you wanna keep your wall ride up as much as possible. Maybe right in front of the enemy team, knock him back with your cube, something like that. That's what I'm thinking. Final talent at level 1 is called Slip. Another talent for your trait. Increases the movement speed bonus of wall ride to 70% for 1 second when near or passing through an enemy hero. So basically you're gonna get somewhat of a small speed burst when passing through heroes. I'm thinking you can zigzag in their general rotation to keep up that 70%, so you can keep up with heroes. But again, it's while wall riding, right? So that means you need to stick to a piece of wall, some impassable terrain, which can again limits your positioning a whole lot, which is basically my problem with Lucio's trait. Let's move on to level 4. First talent, Subwoofer talent for RQ ability, increases the knockback of a Soundwave by up to 50%, and how close, up to 50% based on how close you are to them. Okay, that's pretty clear. It's gonna knock back a set amount. The closer you are, obviously, the bigger the knockback will be. But again, it is a set range for the knockback. Next talent, again for RQ ability, Off the Wall. If you hit an enemy hero while you have the wall riding movement speed bonus, it reduces the cooldown by 3 seconds. Now this sounds promising, but without knowing the actual cooldown of RQ ability, I can't really judge this all that well. I'm guessing, this is just a guess, okay, around 8 to 10 seconds maximum. So you wall ride, knock people back, you wall ride some more, knock people back some more. I'm guessing this is how you can theoretically play Lucio. Final talent at level 4, another one for RQ ability, Chase the Base quest. After hitting 20 enemy heroes with Soundwave, increases the arc by 50% and the range by 20%. So it's gonna be wider and longer. Okay, pretty cut clearance right here. You gotta hit 20 enemy heroes. That shouldn't really prove all that difficult. Talent level 4. Alright, let's move on to what is next. Level 7. Block Party. Talent for our W ability Crossfade. Quest. Support allies with your aura for a total of 8 minutes. Supporting multiple allies rewards more time. Reward increases its duration by 20... radius, my bad. Increases the radius by 25%. So it says that if you support multiple, it stacks up. So basically, if you're stacking up 4 allies, okay, total, I don't know if this applies to Lucio, okay, every second you're gonna get 4 seconds off of this quest. That's the basic idea. If it actually takes Lucio into account, then every second you're gonna get 5 seconds worth of work done on this specific talent. It looks extremely strong, and looking at Lucio's abilities and talents, I think he's gonna be heavily played into Crossfade / amp it up. Next talent at level 7, Loudspeakers. If your aura is currently affecting 2 or more allies, when you cast Amp It Up, increases its radius by 50% for the duration. So basically, as long as you're in range of two of your guys, okay, with this increased radius, I'm guessing you're gonna be able to get the whole team, something like that. Kind of iffy. Also, it's called Loudspeaker, not to be confused with loudspeakers from ADC. Boombox, final talent at level 7. This is an active separate ability. Place a permanent killable ward on the ground that gives nearby allies your Crossfade and Amp It Up auras. Auras do not stack, 20-second cooldown, maximum of 1 ward possible. So with this one, you're gonna be able to affect multiple grounds, multiple battlefields theoretically. To me, it looks kind of iffy, but then again, it is a repeater, a signal repeater if you want. Okay, you can increase your range like that if you want to. Let's move on to heroics. We talked about heroics. Let's move on to level 13. Beat Mixing, talent for our W ability. Gain a permanent shield for 1.5 seconds after switching tracks. Switching tracks also immediately clears any current shield from this talent, so it's gonna refresh the shield every time you switch. 1.5 seconds after you switch. Now, maybe I'm not reading this clearly, but only you get the shield, right? I'm guessing if everybody got the shield, that might sound a tad broken, so I'm guessing this is just a form of damage mitigation for yourself. We are at level 13. Most defensive talents are here. Can't Stop, Won't Stop, a talent for your trait. You can be slowed or rooted while you have the wall riding movement speed bonus. Wow! You cannot be slowed or rooted while you have the wall riding movement speed bonus. Again, wall riding implies that your position is a tad compromised. With this one, you can be slowed or rooted, but you can still be stunned, definitely. It's a somewhat of a watered down form of Unstoppable for the most part, which is permanently active. Awesome. Next talent at level 13, Hardstyle, another talent for your trait. Gain 25 armor while you have wall riding movement speed bonus. Reducing damage by 25%, so it's normal armor, meaning both physical and magic armor as well, so all damage reduced by 25%. Again, I think they're trying somehow to counteract the fact that, again, they're encouraging you to wall ride, but then again, they gotta give you some tools so you're not a sitting duck, because again, while you're wall riding, your movement options are somewhat limited. Back in the mix, passive. Heal yourself for X after exiting from an enemy stun, silence, or stasis. This effect cannot happen more often than every 10 seconds. We have seen before talents such as this, but I don't believe with healing. We saw them with damage mitigation, so you're gonna be able to heal right after you get crowd control. A stun, silence, or stasis, not a root or a slow. Keep that one in mind. Cool. Right, level 16, maybe we get some damage options here. Heliotropics, talent for our Q ability. Soundwave, also blast enemies for 2.5 seconds, so the sound is so potent it blinds people. Obviously it's gonna be useful against AA based team compositions. Pretty simple talent, moving on. I don't know how to read this one. Rejuvenescencia, I don't know, whatever. While Amp It Up is active, Crossfade's healing boost heals for an additional 3% of the target's maximum health per second. Big deal. This is definitely a big deal, especially for high HP team compositions such as a warrior composition, or maybe you have a Fats mode in your team lineup, etc, etc. I like this one. I definitely think this is gonna be a very strong talent for Lucio. Moving on. Bring It Together, another talent for our W ability. If your aura is currently affecting 2 or more allied heroes when you cast Amp It Up, Crossfade's healing boost is increased by 40% for the duration, so a huge healing increase just as long as you're in range of 2 of your guys. Again, I don't think it takes Lucio into account. It says 2 or more allies, right? So you gotta have 2 buddies around. So for team fights, absolutely awesome. Final talent at level 16, Up the Frequency. Amp It Up mana cost is reduced by 80 from 100, so from this, can I assume that Amp It Up's cost is 100 at what level? At 1? It can't be at 16, can it? I don't know. So anyway, it's reduced to 80 from 100, and dealing basic attack damage to enemy hero reduces the cooldown of Amp It Up by 0.45 seconds. So 3 basic attacks will reduce the cooldown by a second, 0.05. There you go. Yeah, interesting talent, definitely. This will encourage you to, well, amp it up more often, which means more healing or more movement speed increase for your team, depending on what you choose. Moving on finally to level 20, let's see them heroic upgrades. First one is called Bossa Nova. Bossa Nova, I don't know. Reduces the cooldown of sound barrier to 30 seconds, but the shield now decays over 4 seconds from 6 seconds. So you're gonna lose the shield much faster, but then again, that's only a 30-second cooldown at level 20, especially in blow-up comps. 4 seconds is more than enough to decide a team fight if you're gonna be able to use your heroic correctly. Based on what they say here, reduces the cooldown of sound barrier to 30 seconds. I'm guessing that the normal cooldown might be around 60. It's just an educated guess, okay, just speculation, don't take my word for it. Next upgrade to a heroic, it's non-stop remix. The duration of reverse amp is paused while it affects 2 or more enemy heroes. So wow, nice one. So theoretically you're gonna be able to keep this one up indefinitely as long as there's 2 enemy heroes in the fight, okay? Obviously this is for the team fight, you're gonna activate the reverse amp in a team fight, and as long as there are 2 enemy heroes alive, the duration will be paused, meaning you still get the bonuses, okay, from reverse amp. It just doesn't run out. It's as simple as that. Awesome talent at level 20. Next, the talent for our E ability, Encore. Using Crossfade while Amp It Up is active resets the duration of Amp It Up back to its max duration. This can only occur once per cast. Wow, so keep in mind that you can get increased duration for this one. I think you can get 4 seconds if I remember correctly from the talents. So if you keep on switching, you're gonna be able to keep up your E boost indefinitely, theoretically. Okay, you can't have one all the time, but you will be able to switch between the increased speed, healing, so you can reset the duration like that. Once it drops, okay, you gotta recast it, but you can keep it out theoretically indefinitely through the duration of a team fight, which is awesome. Definitely another very powerful talent at level 20. Next talent, again, I can't pronounce this one. Synesthesia Auditiva, I think that's it. Casting Amp It Up removes all stuns, slows, and root effects from nearby allies, and all slow and root effects from Lucio. Wow. So this is basically an AoE cleanse. Do I even need to tell you guys how powerful such an ability can be? AoE cleanse on your E ability. So again, all stuns, slows, and root effects. From Lucio, only stun and only slow and root, because obviously if you're stunned you cannot cast. Wow, AoE cleanse at 20. CC heavy teams will really have a problem with this one, but again, it's at 20. Again, very powerful talent. And that's gonna do it for Lucio's abilities and his talents. Again, this information is not final. As you can see, we don't have the full picture yet, but we don't have a lot of time to wait for Lucio because he's coming to the PTR, like I said, the 6th of February. Join me on the PTR/joinLGV in the chat channel when we will test Lucio. And again, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about his kit from what information we have? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Would you have preferred to see a different hero from Overwatch? To be honest, I'm just happy I'm getting a support and not a Warcraft assassin anymore. I'm gonna thank you guys for watching, like, favorite, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I will see you again next time. Bye bye everybody, bye bye.